If you're at all intrigued about or considering traveling on your own, this episode is for you. In this video, I'm going to share 4 of the biggest tips for senior solo travel, so stay till the end because you never know which one will resonate the most with you. In case you're new, I am Cyn Meyer, the founder of Second Wind Movement and a life coach for older adults who are striving to turn their retirement years into their best years full of purpose and meaning. And a big part of that is satisfying your sense of adventure and excitement. The idea of senior solo travel might seem daunting, and the many myths about aging may further deepen the misconception that you shouldn't travel solo as a senior or older adult. But according to the Solo Traveler World's survey, the majority of solo travelers are over age 55, and according to Booking.com's research, 40% have already taken a solo trip, with 21% planning to do so. Why is senior solo travel amazing? Solo travel is all about making your own rules. When you travel alone, the freedom of doing whatever your heart desires is available, and for the most part, you can do whatever captures your interest in the moment. If you're curious about what inspires people to travel solo, according to AARP's travel research, the majority of people, as in 45%, do it for the destination, and then another 35% do it to treat themselves. Another interesting trend is men are more likely to take on solo travel as a hobby, while women are more likely to pursue it for personal reflection. No matter how you slice it, there's something empowering about being able to explore without fear or regret. And it can boost your self-confidence like no other feeling quite matches. If you're wondering about planning a solo trip, it's equally as attractive. According to research, solo travelers do not express having many obstacles when planning their trip. In fact, a major 56% of them claim no hardships at all. Still, it's of course always best to be prepared, so it's worth perusing the remaining 9 biggest challenges for senior solo travel. And those reasons range from things like sticking to a budget and figuring out your activities, to dealing with solo fees because those do exist, and choosing the best time to travel. Note that the other 9 hardships significantly trail the nothing category, as in no hardships of planning a solo trip. Even though many adventurous travelers report having no significant travel hardships, we do understand that the idea of diving into a senior solo travel can be a bigger hurdle. So if you're starting out, this will be especially helpful. Let's dive into our 4 best planning tips to help you organize a safe and enjoyable adventure. Number 1, create a flexible budget. The first step to any travel planning is creating a travel budget. Sometimes it can be challenging with endless calculations and even unpredictable results. We suggest that you either start with where you want to go or how much you want to spend, and then reverse engineer it from there. Try to include an estimate of all the biggest vacation costs, like transportation, accommodation, food/alcohol, and entertainment. And aim for a flexible enough budget so that if any unexpected expenses pop up, like tourist taxes or emergencies, or the other end of it, if you want to splurge on something, then it doesn't throw off your whole trip. And in case you want more ideas on how to travel on a budget, we have content on specifically that. So I will leave a link to that in the description below this video. Feel free to check that out. And also consider budgetyourtrip.com if you're looking for a great tool that estimates budgets. If going totally alone sounds daunting to you, consider our next tip. Number 2, consider solo group travel. It doesn't matter if you're an experienced single traveler or considering senior solo travel for the first time. Group tours can connect you with like-minded adventurers. After all, staying socially connected is hugely important for older adults especially. So if you have the travel bug and a thirst for adventure, then befriending fellow globetrotters on the road or overseas may be worth your while. Apart from social connections, you can relax on the planning tasks while others take care of the details for you, so you can enjoy the trip a little bit more stress-free. Like the Australian tour company Encounter Travel says, traveling solo, not alone. And they aren't the only travel group that accommodates solo senior travelers. If you want more travel groups to peruse, check out our content on some of the best senior travel groups. I will also leave a link to that resource in the description below this video. For now, number 3, cut back on solo fees. Have you ever noticed when looking at tour prices how they say per person based on double occupancy? That likely means that as a single traveler, you can expect to pay more and sometimes as much as double, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your trip has to cost you that much more as a solo traveler. With a little pre-planning and research, you can save money and avoid losing an arm and a leg when booking solo trips. For instance, you can choose solo travel tours for seniors that waive single supplements. There's another resource that we can share. You can check out a full list of no single supplement tours, and I will also leave a link to that in the description below this video in the resources section. You can also consider staying in a hostel or getting a roommate when you join a group tour. Book private accommodation through services like Airbnb or Booking.com. Travel in shoulder season, that's a good one. And a bonus tip, you can set up a Google alert with relevant search terms like no single supplement Hawaii, for example, or single senior travel packages Budapest. And then you'll get notified as soon as the deal appears. And finally, number 4 is a very important basic one. Stay safe on the go. Traveling alone can be a wonderful experience, and there are sometimes safety tips to keep in mind so that you stay safe during your travels. It doesn't have to be scary, and it isn't for the 88% of senior solo travelers, but just be mindful to always let someone know where your trip is and when you'll be home. Find out what the local emergency numbers are before you leave. Bring extra cash since credit cards may not always work abroad. Pick 1 or 2 people who can act as emergency contacts while you're away from home. Keep your documents, cash, and cards in separate places. And most importantly, don't leave your common sense at home. And for extra safety, download apps like the Smart Traveler, which is an app created by the U.S. Department of State. So you can sign up through the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, STEP, to get government information about a foreign destination. So there you have it. Let's recap our list of 4 best planning tips for senior solo travel. Number 1, create a flexible budget. Number 2, consider solo group travel. Number 3, cut back on solo fees. And number 4, stay safe on the go by using the tips and tools that we shared. The thought of roaming an unknown place alone can be both intimidating and exciting, and a bit of research goes a long way. One of the hardest parts of planning a solo trip is actually incorporating into your daily life next steps for reaching your travel goals, whether it's finding the time, the money, or the energy. This topic does come up a lot in private coaching sessions, so it's worth mentioning here. Working the magic of micro-stepping after you find clarity first, of course, will get you there. Just take it 1 single micro-step at a time. For instance, try taking a city break before venturing on a month-long trip across the globe. While we recommend careful planning, don't be afraid to let go and be spontaneous as well. It's a great way to tap into your intuition and freely adventure as your authentic self. So thank you so much for being here and for striving to be your best during retirement. We need more people like you to help shift our culture to be better. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video. Every engagement that you make with our videos helps us do our job better of creating helpful content for this important audience of older adults. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.